Hello guys, you're welcome to today's episode on SSS with Osayi Tres Omokaro. Starting, sustaining and scaling your business right here on Center-ECD Enterprise TV. Before I get into today's conversation, I just want to read these statistics to us. Out of 32 million entrepreneurs in the United States, this research has it that 70% launched their companies without a formal business plan, and 91% of them don't even have a business, while 44% of them don't even have a college degree. Then 99.95% did not raise capital from venture capitalists, while 77% did not raise any outside capital at all. Now the question is, why am I reading these statistics to us? Because today we're going to be talking on a topic I have titled business planning. Why do you need a business plan as a business person? Remember, we're talking about how to start, how to sustain, and how to scale your business. So business planning is a part of the processes for starting your business. So first, I want to talk about the reasons why you need a business plan. These are the 5 reasons why you need a business plan. Like I always say, irrespective of the numbers I give, they are not exhaustive. But for the sake of the conversation, we will just pick a number and work around it. So part of the first reason why you need a business plan is the fact that you need clarity and direction. How does a business plan help you to achieve this? Because a lot of us run around with business ideas without taking time to invest what I call the sweat equity. One of the ways you invest sweat equity is by taking time to sit down with the idea you have in your head and chunk out a business plan. A business plan provides a clear objective and the strategies to meeting those objectives. A lot of times, because you have an idea in your head, you are always pumped up because you can almost see the end of this idea. But when you sit down through the process of a business plan, you get a vivid direction. You get to conclude, this is the path I'm taking, because a business plan will force you to go through a lot of process, then you have a direction. So when you talk about such a business, you're not just talking about it like someone who just have an idea, then now you're talking about it like someone who have an idea and have mapped out the process flow to getting to the end of that idea. The second reason why you need a business plan is for funding and investment. So when investors talk to you, the first thing they want to see is the viability of the business. And one of the ways you show the viability of a business is the fact that you're sharing with them a business plan that have gone through a process and has documented the idea, the team, the processes, the competition, and some of the things we talked about in our former video, would have been taken into consideration in the process of developing a business plan. So when an investor sees that plan, they know whether to put in an investment for equity, to just give you a loan, or possibly walk away. So a business plan will facilitate and fast track your accessing finance. So the third thing a business plan will do for you is risk management. I normally share this story. I attended a course at Lagos Business School at some point in time, and at the end of that course, we were expected to submit a business plan to our SEX. I think it was then about 10 million naira years back. At the end of that training and certification, I began to work on the business plan of the idea that took me there. I looked at the processes and everything that the business plan entails. When I got to competition, I realized what people were doing in that space at that time versus what I was bringing on board. I realized that I needed much more than just that 10 million to be able to even fight in that space. At the end of that session, I eventually did not even apply for that money. That sounded like a lofty opportunity, but I turned it down. Why? I realized that I could get that money, but I'm going to run into issues because I have seen the risk inherent in the business, particularly with the model with which I was going about it. So if I did not do a business plan, I will go for that money and possibly be celebrating. Have you heard of a lot of businesses, a lot of startup founders who have accessed a lot of funding, some in equity, some in grants, and yet they've all folded up? There are a lot of it like that. That was part of the reason why I read those statistics to you. There are a lot of accidental entrepreneurs. So a business plan will help you clarify some of those things. And another thing a business plan does for you is strategic planning. What is strategic planning? Strategic planning is simply a planning that takes through a process and strategically want to achieve an objective. When you are strategic about your plan, it means you're looking at the various pathways to achieving a plan. A business is actually the provision of product or services to meet a need with the goal of reaping a return. So in your business planning, you're looking at your financials, you're looking at your expense, you're looking at your capital project, you're looking at your inflow. Then you say, oh, this is what we want to achieve. What are the strategic pathways to achieving this thing? If you have not sat down to do a detailed business plan, you will run with all enthusiasm, with all optimism, but all of that still can lead you to failure. So you have to be strategic. You have to be able to see this step by step. A business plan is the only thing that can help you achieve that. Then fifth is performance measurements. One of the things a business plan will do for you is that at every point in time, because in the course of you developing a business plan, you're going to have milestones. You're going to have milestones that you want to achieve at certain time. So at every point in time, the plan will help you measure yourself against this milestone. So you know whether, at the pace I am going, you know whether or not you're going to be able to reach your objective. So these are the 5 things I can't talk about now that are the reasons why you need a business plan. But another thing now is, before we're not wrapping up this video here, now I want to go into the strategies and the tips on developing a business plan. We're going to try to make it as simple and easy and straight to the point for you. The first thing in a business plan is the executive summary. The executive summary is, if care is not taken, the most important part of a business plan. Just like we used to teach people about pitch presentation or elevator pitch. An elevator pitch is that presentation you make when you see an investor that could take between 30 seconds to 1 minute, that highlights everything about your idea in a manner that the investor turns his or her head and say, wow, we need to meet and talk about this. The same way that elevator pitch achieved that's the same way your executive summary should be able to capture the attention of investors. Because most of these investors, they come in contact with a lot of business ideas and plans on a regular basis. Majority of the time, the only thing they will read in your business plan is the executive summary. Because the executive summary, just like the name goes, summarizes the idea, your execution strategies, the milestone, the market, the financials, all summarized possibly in 1 to 2 pages. An investor can invest his time to read that 1 or 2 pages. If they don't get what they need in that 1 or 2 pages of your executive summary, they'll trash the entire document. So some will advise that the executive summary, even though it comes first, is always the last page to be written, because It takes all of the other pages and summarizes them into 1 or 2 pages. That's the executive summary.